So, so I had this weird ass dream. It's like 4 o'clock in the morning. It's still dark. I had this weird ass dream. It was all about living alone. I bought this place. It was pretty big. It even had its own little yard. And I lived in this place, and it was kind of scary though, because strangers were knocking on the door, and then I open it, and well, they would try to break into the place because it was a secondhand place, not new, and they'd obviously squatted there before, and so these people were like trying to break in, and I said, "Oh, you can't come in. I live here." And then they're like, "Oh, but we need a place to," because the horse had an issue, and need a place to for a horse to hang out, kind of attitude. Um, and then you let the horse in, and it turns into like a a COVID infected horse, to give you a lovely sensation while it's hanging around. And it ended up being like, I don't know, having to battle these awful attentions from awful people, guys as well, ended up showing up, and you could tell it had like a little dramatic negative energy, um, where guys can basically turn into the worst of people. And so these guys showed up, ended up getting quite attached, ended up wanting to punish you for them being near you, like attack you. And then it ended up me and a couple of female neighbors went downstairs in the parking lot complex, which is on the lower, underneath the ground, like 3 layers, 3 floors down. And we started to hang out around there and had all this weird ass hippie music, um, a whole library of it to choose from, and we chose a song, and it was comforting. But then the uncomforting thought was whoever was singing it, um, was someone who was corrupt in real life. So even though it was a comforting song, whoever was singing it was like, you know, did some bad things in real life, so they're not actually comforting people. And then the male stalkers began to, come down into the garage and started to want to attack everyone. And that's when I woke up. I was like, what an awful dream. And I'm just about to spend a whole week by myself in this place. So I've got lots of DVDs, so if I ever get nightmares or something, I can reach to a DVD and keep the lights on. But I just wake up and said, what a terrible dream that was. It was all desperately themed, down themed, and a little bit like a horror movie in a way, like a not the most horrible of movies, but it was like threatening to envision. I was like, yep. But all yesterday I was contemplating, maybe I should get a part-time job in the city. Maybe that will get me to move my butt, because whoever I live with does want to get a cupboard and no lounging on it, and all my stuff has been in storage for a year. I'm like, well, may as well move. Maybe if I get a part-time job in the city, I'll be able to move and live by myself and blah blah blah. And then, so I had this dream to remind me of how cushy living alone is. And it's like, oh, it's not very cushy, is it? It's kind of freaky, because people do, when they notice you living by yourself, they do stalk you. And real estate, aren't the best of real estates, they break in to just to check out your stuff when you're not there. If you have pets, they take them away. And then the owners of the real estate, they can break in whenever they want. So I've had owners of the real estate that you're renting from break in, and then you want to own your own property. But once again, people who are strangers just look at your house and bully themselves into the house ownership, and the courts allow it. And so then you're like, no, now it's back to the drawing board of nothing is very comforting because you're living by yourself. So I'm like, and then I have this dream because that's what I was thinking about yesterday. And then I had this dream, and I was like, yep, it's pretty icy cold.